All right, so we're diving deep today into the world of bioluminescence. Imagine like you're going down, down, down into the ocean. It's pitch black. Humans have barely even explored it,
Right.
but it's not quiet down there.
No, not at all.
Life found a way. They create their own light show.
Yeah, they produce their own light, bioluminescent.
That's amazing. And they don't just use it to see, right? It's like they talk to each other with it.
Exactly. It's like their own underwater language.
Oh, that's a cool way to put it.
Yeah.
Um, so what are we looking at today to like try to decode this language?
Well, you've got some really cool articles here, like from like the Monterey Bay Aquarium, the Smithsonian.
Hmm.
And what's really interesting is like they talk about all these different types of signals,
Okay.
like flashes and glows, and even like clouds of shimmering light.
Oh, wow.
It seems like each species has its own way of communicating with light.
That's incredible.
Oh.
So like are there any specific examples that stand out?
Yeah, so there's this article, The Unseen Symphony of the Deep. It talks about how some creatures use bioluminescence to attract mates, kind of like fireflies do on land.
Yeah.
But, out in the deep ocean, finding a mate, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So these light signals are crucial. I mean, it's about the survival of the entire species.
Yeah, for sure. That makes you wonder like what are the signals even like?
Yeah.
Like what information are they sending? Is it just like, "Hey, I'm here"?
It's a great question. Scientists are trying to figure that out.
Okay.
Some think that the different patterns, the colors, they might signal different things.
Okay.
Like maybe what species it is, or if it's male or female, even how healthy it is.
It's like a code.
It is. It's like a complex code that we're just starting to crack.
That's so cool. What about that fish, the anglerfish?
Ah, yes.
It has that light on its head.
Yeah, it's like a built-in fishing rod with a glowing lure to attract prey.
Oh man, they're sneaky.
It's pretty clever. And it shows you how tough it is to survive in the deep sea.
Yeah.
You've got to be creative to find food down there.
Right. So it's not just for attracting mates, it's for hunting, for survival. But I know it's also a defense mechanism too, right?
Definitely. Like, have you heard of the vampire squid?
Oh, yeah, that sounds scary.
It's pretty amazing. So instead of ink, it ejects this like cloud of glowing particles.
What?
Yeah, to confuse predators while it makes its escape.
So it's like a distraction.
Exactly. Pretty clever, huh?
Yeah. So we've got the anglerfish, the vampire squid. What's interesting to me is it's not just squid and fish, right? Even bacteria can do this bioluminescence thing.
Absolutely. These types of bacteria, they live with other creatures in a mutually beneficial relationship. And they basically provide a constant light source.
I read about that in some research from NOAA. They were saying these bacteria, they actually create these huge, like shimmering displays.
Yeah.
You can see them from space.
Space. That's crazy.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's beautiful, but it also shows you just how important bioluminescence is in the deep sea.
Right. It's not just a cool effect. It's like crucial to life down there.
Right.
It's how they find food and avoid becoming food and talk to each other.
Yeah, it's like even in the harshest environments, life finds a way. And not just to survive, but to thrive.
Yeah.
And even to communicate in these ways that we're just beginning to understand.
It's incredible. So this language of light, it's more than just a simple signal, right? It's complex.
It is. It's very complex. And the more we learn about bioluminescence, the more we realize how sophisticated it really is.
Okay, I'm hooked. You've given us a great overview of like how it's used for survival and communication. But what else?
Well, this isn't just something that happens down in the ocean. We're starting to find ways to use bioluminescence up here in our world. It turns out these deep sea experts in light have a lot to teach us. So you're saying like these glowing creatures, they could actually be useful to us.
Yeah, actually.
That's kind of wild.
One area that's really exciting is medical research. Like, imagine if we could see what's happening inside the human body, like at a cellular level, seeing cells and molecules moving around in real time.
Okay, now that sounds like something out of a movie. How's that even possible?
Oh, they're using these proteins from bioluminescent creatures.
Okay.
Like jellyfish, like a molecular flashlight, and they can attach these proteins to specific cells or molecules, so then you can see them under a microscope.
So it's like you're tagging these tiny things with a glowing beacon so you can see where they go.
Exactly, yeah. It's amazing. Like, this could help us understand how diseases spread, how our bodies react to medicine, even how our brains work.
Wow. That's incredible. It sounds like bioluminescence could like change medicine completely.
It really could. And it's not just about research. Imagine like surgeons using these bioluminescent markers to guide them during an operation.
So they can see better.
Yeah, like a built-in spotlight on the areas they need to work on.
That's amazing. But what about, I mean, are there any uses for bioluminescence outside of medicine?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Scientists are looking at using it for environmental monitoring. Remember those bioluminescent bacteria we talked about?
The ones that create those amazing light shows? Yeah.
Well, we could engineer them to light up when they detect pollution, like in the water or in the air.
Oh,
So it would be like an early warning system for environmental problems.
that's brilliant. Using those tiny little creatures
Mm.
to help protect the planet. You know, I was reading in the NOAA research that bioluminescence actually creates a lot of the light in the ocean.
Yeah, it's true. It's a huge part of the ocean ecosystem. It affects like everything from like the food chain to how nutrients move around.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
We're talking about using bioluminescence for medicine, for the environment, even for lighting.
Mm.
Are we forgetting about how important it is in the ocean?
That's a really good point. As we get more excited about the possibilities, we can't forget about the creatures who depend on it. We have to make sure we're protecting their homes.
Right. We don't want to mess things up just because we're, fascinated by glowing creatures.
Exactly. We have to be respectful and responsible. We can learn from nature without harming it. You mentioned lighting, though. What about that?
Oh yeah, this is actually one of the things I'm most excited about. We've talked about medicine, we've talked about the environment, but what if we could use bioluminescence to create like better lighting,
Yeah.
like more sustainable lighting?
You're on the right track. Imagine if streetlights were powered by glowing plants.
Yeah, sounds like a fantasy.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, if these creatures can create light down in the deep ocean, why can't we use that same power to light up our cities?
Yeah, why not?
Well, scientists are working on it, trying to genetically engineer plants to make them glow. It
Yeah.
could be a natural way to light things up, and it wouldn't use as much energy as our current lights.
That would be incredible. Lighting up the world, but in a way that doesn't hurt the planet.
It's a really cool idea, and it all comes back to learning from these amazing creatures in the ocean.
It makes me think back to how we were talking about bioluminescence as communication.
Yeah, it's one of the most fascinating parts of the whole thing.
I was reading that scientists are even trying to figure out how to use bioluminescence for our own communication.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
Interesting how, like, are we going to be sending messages by glowing squid or something?
Not exactly. Although that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But no, what they're looking at is something called optical communication. Basically, it's using light to send information. And it seems like these bioluminescent creatures, they might hold the key to making this work.
Okay, but how? I don't get it. How would that even work?
Well, it's all about the different wavelengths of light that these organisms produce. Like imagine if different colors of light meant different things, like a super high-tech Morse code.
So we'd be creating a whole new language
Yeah.
based on how these different creatures glow.
Exactly. And light travels super fast and it can carry a lot of information. So if we can figure out this bioluminescent communication, it could completely change how we send information.
This is mind-blowing. We're talking about like glowing creatures in the ocean leading to a whole new way for humans to communicate. It's amazing what you can find out there.
I know, it's incredible. Every time we learn something new about the ocean, it just opens up all these amazing possibilities.
Yeah.
And who knows what else is out there just waiting for us to discover it.
It really makes you think about how amazing life is on Earth.
It does.
Even in the toughest places, life finds a way not just to hang on, but to thrive, to make it work, and to communicate in ways that we never imagined.
Yeah, it's pretty humbling, isn't it? We still have so much to learn from the natural world. And the more we learn about things like bioluminescence, the more we realize, there's just so much more out there to discover.
I think we've covered a lot today.
Yeah, we have.
From the deepest parts of the ocean to the cutting edge of science. And it all comes back to these these tiny little creatures that create their own light.
It's been a really fascinating journey. I hope you've enjoyed learning about bioluminescence with us. It's a testament to how incredible nature is, and it's a reminder that there's always something more to learn, more to explore, more to discover.
Absolutely. And to everyone listening, next time you're looking up at the stars, think about that other world of light down there under the waves. It's a world full of life and communication and just amazing possibilities. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be using the language of bioluminescence to talk to each other across continents, or even across galaxies. But until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the wonders of our planet.